The greatest musical legend of his generation, Michael Jackson, is dead. Known as the King of Pop, he died suddenly. He was just 50 years old.
It became the seminal moment of his television career. That night, he crossed over into a whole new audience.
The moonwalk was a dance that the kids were doing on the streets. And Michael came along later, and he had a guy by the name of Jeffrey Daniels to teach him to do the moonwalk. And Jeffrey taught him to do the moonwalk, and he was good at it.
The backslide is actually supposed to be like if you were to be walking forward and suddenly you're on an escalator, and as you're walking forward, this escalator is now pulling you backwards as you're continuing to walk forward. That's the illusion of the backslide. And the moonwalk is that you're actually walking, but the ground is pulling you back. And if you can do it with that illusion, then you're doing it more or less looking like you're pulling yourself back, like your legs are tugging you back. It's not supposed to look that way.
From now on, Michael Jackson would be almost as well known for his stage persona as for his singing.
I remember I saw him in Japan during the history tour. I mean, he shot up from the bottom of the stage and landed on the stage and just stood there. And people are crying and screaming, and he hasn't even moved yet. He hasn't even moved, and they're crying and screaming. He reaches up for his sunglasses, and the screen goes up to another pitch. He slowly takes his glasses off. The screen goes to a higher pitch. He tucks them away and stands for a while longer. By the time the music starts, the audience is pretty much exhausted, and he hasn't even done nothing yet.
When you are doing the very best you can do at that particular moment with a lot of people watching and that kind of pressure that not many people understand is on you, every second has to be in the moment.
In 1984, Michael and his brothers signed a deal with Pepsi as sponsors of their first tour together for 3 years. But while filming a commercial for the drinks company, Michael's hair caught fire and he was rushed to hospital with burns to his scalp. If Jackson's musical ideas were rapidly expanding, so were his plans for increasingly elaborate and expensive live shows.
And, you know, we created the biggest tour ever that will probably never ever be surpassed, and that all came from Michael's vision.
He sees the entire thing. He knows exactly what he wants and exactly what he wants to do, and that's really expensive. To be so perfect for his fans, and he wanted it just so that he was going to have to write a big check for it, and he did.
Big didn't mean anything. Bigger meant something, but biggest became, you know, the synonym around the office.
Michael had this idea to end Dangerous that he wanted to fly off the stage with a rocket strapped to his back, and we all looked at each other and just went, what? it worked. Somehow he pulled it off, and it was the most amazing ending to a show I have ever seen.